Coach, so often in today's NBA, when teams hold their opponent under 100 points, they come out with the win. What did you see as the difference tonight, why your team was unable to do so?
That was a playoff game. The physicality, the small, tiny, little things matter in these games, because what turns out to be a 4-point differential in a game feels like 10 because of the amount of possessions that are being had. So every rebound matters, every foul matters, every little small possessions in a game like this, which was a playoff type game, matters. And we gave up 11 offensive rebounds, and those are the possessions that you can't get back. And those led to big threes, and those are momentum shifts. So in a game like this, the little things matter the most, and also a hungry team that came in here off of a loss yesterday.
How did you feel like your team handled that physicality tonight?
I think we handled the physicality fine. I really do. I don't think that it was a matter of that physicality, but it was the small pieces of finding a box out at the right time, getting out to shooters at the right time, and those were all momentum shifts. And give the Clippers credit. They did all those small things in that little stretch, that changed the game and opened the game up.
Just kind of on the other end, then what wasn't the offense able to do or execute tonight to kind of find those little plays?
Having to go back and look at the film without knowing, I think we got to some spots. I think we missed some wide open looks, some good looks. I think we had some inopportune turnovers at the wrong time down the stretch, and I think that's what led them to some easier buckets getting out in the open court, which is what we usually do. And tonight, that wasn't the case for us in this moment.
Kind of on that point, the nature of this game, it seemed like it was played in like a 3 or 4 possession window the entire time. Just what didn't allow your team to ever really get over the hump, especially in that second half?
I really think, if just off the top of my head, it was those moments where you give up 1 offensive rebound or 2 offensive rebounds in a possession, and that becomes deflating, and they hit a knockdown 3. Norman Powell hits that big 3 that gives that momentum up. James gets downhill, gets a foul. Those little moments are, like you said, in a 2 and 3 possession game, those are ones you cannot get back. And so our level of focus on rebounding the basketball, finishing out possessions, and being able to get out and run, which against a team that we know is very high level defensively, that they want to pack that paint in, and they don't want to let you get downhill.
The second quarter, you guys had, I think, only 3 points through the first 8 minutes, and we've seen this team go through lulls and kind of let go of the rope a little bit, but you guys kept them in range defensively, and then were able to kind of find that spark to end the quarter. What does that say about kind of the I know it's no moral victories, but what does that say about the kind of progress this team is making toward being the group that you want to be?
It's a lesson we have to learn. And you have to go through this type of game against a playoff type team and who they are in the West to understand exactly the value of each possession of the game. And like you just said, there was lulls. There's going to be lulls in games. And in a low possession game like this, every small possession matters. When you foul, when you're in the bonus, when they're in the bonus, box outs, rebounds, turnovers, all those little small things are heightened in a game like this.
First of all, what stood out to you tonight about the Clippers defense? And secondly, just taking a look at the bench, we know it's been, a little bit inconsistent as of late. What needs to change there in terms of getting more offensive production from the second unit?
Well, Clippers defense, T. Lue and Van Gundy, they've done a great job of, they swarm. As soon as you touch that paint, they're swarming in there. So our ability to make quick decisions as soon as that ball crosses the free throw line, essentially, because they're swarming from the backside, front side. Quick decisions are very necessary against a team like that. The second piece is behind the bench. Again, there was a stint where we did a very good job defensively, and then the shots just didn't fall. But that group, we've got to continue to play faster with pace. We should be the fresher team. They played last night. So, again, getting out early and in transition is going to be important for us as we move forward.
Sticking with the bench, I'm curious what went into starting Tristan in the fourth for a few minutes.
Yeah, I really think just finding space on the floor, opening up. They went to the small lineup. Zubac was out of the game. They went to Eubanks early, so that allowed us to play J.I. as well as Goga together. Then they went small, and they were switching everything, so allowing us to have more space on the floor, attack, get downhill, find shooters. Again, and we're finding guys, and we just got to continue to step in and knock shots down.
Coach, staying the course, just the meat grinder, continuing to play and win games and compete as you move closer to the playoffs? Just talk a little bit about closing the year out and just continuing to compete.
You just said it. Yeah, I mean, you called it. That we've just got to continue to play the right way, continue to trend in the right direction. You hold a team to 96 points. You've got to be able to hang your hat on the defensive end of the floor. This is two and three defensive ranked teams going at each other. So it was a small margin for error. And that's what we've got to continue to do. So we learn from this. We've got to go play San Antonio tomorrow, and figure out our way through that one, and then bounce out to Washington. But it's one game at a time. Lick our wounds and go try to figure out a way to get San Antonio. Thank you, Coach Mosley. Thank you all.